Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play of The Crown and the Flame Book 3, Chapter 8. Kenna leads a rescue mission to Aurelia. Will they be able to free Dom from Hex's mind control? Here we go. The bitter reunion. That doesn't sound good at all. A day after leaving Lycos, your airship streaks toward Aurelia in pursuit of Hex and Dom. On your way to the bridge, you nearly run into Clover as she hurries in the other direction. I just realized what Raiden was doing. In the last chapter, oh my god, he's going to try to find someone who can read that stupid book. I was hoping it would be Clover, but we have no reason to believe Clover is literate in ancient Illyrith or whatever. Okay. Sorry. Oh, I beg your pardon, Your Majesty. I didn't see you there. That's alright, Clover. Why are you in such a rush? I wanted to ask you, after we defeat Lady Hex and rescue your dragon friend, do you think there will be time to explore a bit? I've always wanted to see the wilds of the Blackspine Mountains for myself. I could make us a picnic lunch and... Clover, we're going to be fighting for our lives tomorrow. I don't think there will be time for a picnic. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think. I'm used to her radiance. I mean Azura, just... Clover waggles her fingers, making zapping sounds. Goodness, I'm suddenly quite nervous for all of you. Do you think you'll be all right? You smile, reaching out to pat Clover on the shoulder. Don't worry. I may not have lightning powers, but I've made it through a battle or two. Yes, I'm sure you'll be quite fine, Queen Kenna. You're the fiercest woman I've ever met. Clover gives you a quick hug, then wanders off. As everyone gathers to discuss your next move, you spot Annalise lingering by the window. Annalise? She slowly turns to look at you, her eyes red and her expression haunted. Yes? I just wanted to say, Hex is going to pay for this. Or this isn't your fault. God, it's not her fault, but I hate to say that out of the blue because that can kind of sound like I think it is. Hex is gonna pay for this. I promise you, we're going to make sure Hex never hurts anyone ever again. When I get my hands on that woman, I'm going to do more than that. I just wish I'd been there when she showed up. I would have stopped her. I would have lured her into the banquet hall and stabbed her with a goddamn salad fork. Annalise pounds her fist into the airship's window. Kenna, I failed them. I failed. Annalise buries her face in her hands, her whole body shaking with barely contained sobs. You gently pull her into a hug. I'm so sorry, Annalise. We're going to make this right, I swear. Annalise nods, pulling away and carefully dabbing her eyes with a silk handkerchief. You're right. We have work to do. You and Annalise join the others by the airship controls. I love her so much. She's, repeatedly shown to be very girly and feminine and delicate and at times even fragile, but she's emotionally so strong and brave, and I love her. And it's so rare to see like a really feminine, femmy character who is also strong, and I love her. How long until we reach Aurelia? If this tailwind keeps up, we should reach the city by midday tomorrow. Hells, we could have used a few of these airships when we attacked the Iron Empire. A shame Hex was too busy with her little side projects to finish them in time. Yeah,
It would have been nice if she hadn't wasted all that time learning how to mind control people. Right, like your dragon friend, Dom. And just how are we planning to take him out exactly? No one is going to take him out, Diavalos. This is a rescue mission. I get it. I'm just saying that I've been on the receiving end of a dragon attack. I was at the Battle of the Bay, remember? Yeah, nobody's forgetting that. Just like I won't forget that your dragon pals roasted a few dozen of my men alive. We were at war. They would have killed me if they could. It is not my fault they could not. Fair enough. But mark my words, it's gonna be war when we reach Aurelia too. And if I have to choose between fighting and getting eaten alive, well, Diavalos isn't on the menu. I feel like all his dialogue should be like capped with like finger guns and like a mouth sound, like Diavalos isn't on the menu. Like, tell me that face is not the face of a man who makes finger guns when he talks. You can't tell me that, because he clearly is. And look at his sword. Has anyone noticed how ridiculously ostentatious it is, with its little flamey bits everywhere? That's a finger gun sword. Diavalos, you have a point. With Dom under Hex's control, it'd be foolish to assume we could get him back without a fight. Glad to know we're on the same page. I don't know if I would go that far. The point still stands. How do you propose we, let's say, subdue your pal without getting bitten in half? We'll have Hex to deal with too. Not to mention her other captive fire user. Hells, how many of those fire spitters are there? Hex has 2, but I am more powerful than both. That's what I'm hoping. Say, when we get to Aurelia, I want you to transform and go after... So the options are Anton, Hex, and Dom. And the strategy guide says Dom. Say has the best chance of restraining Dom without hurting him. The rest of us will go after Hex and Anton. Makes sense. Send a dragon to fight a dragon. Dom cut his training short. It should not be too difficult to overpower him. Kenna, I would consider it a favor if you tried not to kill or permanently damage Anton. He was once my friend, and I believe he is not completely lost to us. We'll do our best, Say. As someone who doesn't have much experience fighting fire people, how does one, win? I've been experimenting with a new weapon that emits a short concussive burst of energy that can be attenuated to incapacitate opponents or... Whitlock trails off, looking around at everyone's blank expressions. He sighs, retrieving a glowing weapon from the control console. It's an energy pistol. We heard you the first time. I'm sorry, the finger guns are canon now. I can't help it. This setting will stun, and this one will kill. Oh good, it's Star Trek now. Oh good, it's steampunk Star Trek. I love that Whitlock put little golden flowers all over it. Maybe Annalise helped him. You examine the unfamiliar weapon, noting the settings Whitlock described. Amazing, and much more portable than your shock emitter. Don't remind me of that monstrosity. It shocked me at least twice as often as anyone else. This won't be able to knock out Dom in his dragon form, but it will definitely be effective against human targets. Take the energy pistol to easily stun your opponents. How will I even know how to aim it? Pistols don't exist in this setting. I think I'll
get shaken down for more diamonds. You take the weapon, feeling a barely perceptible hum against the palm of your hand. You never cease to amaze me, Whitlock.
Good. It is sort of my job.
When we set down, you and Annalise will stay with the ship, at least until the fighting is over. I have a lot of feelings about them turning Whitlock into someone willing to make weapons to kill, given that his entire beef with Hex is that she makes weapons to kill, and he feels like, or he felt like, killing was never the right option. So I do wish that they had kind of left it as a stun gun instead of a death gun, but okay, here we are. When we set down, you and Annalise will stay with the ship, at least until the fighting is over.
Understood.
No. What do you mean, no? Annalise glances out the window, pointing to a mountain ridge in the distance. Aurelia's just on the other side of that peak. Whitlock, I want you to let us off on the western slope. While you're fighting in front of the city, I'm going to sneak in through the mines and evacuate everyone I can find. You plan to run into a burning city alone? My burning city, say, with my people trapped inside. Annalise. She's right, I'm gonna back her. You clasp Annalise's hands tightly. Your people need you. Just be careful, all right? Annalise pulls you into a tight hug. Thank you. I knew you would understand. Annalise releases you, and a tense silence falls over the bridge.
Hells, is there anything to drink on this God's forsaken flying boat? If I'm going to die tomorrow, I'd rather not do it sober.
Will you shut up? Nobody's dying tomorrow.
Oh, come on. Odds are high someone will. I mean, we didn't even bring any troops with us.
Because we need every soldier we have to assemble at Stormhold. We're preparing for an invasion.
What good is that if you can't spare a squad or two to defend your queen? Well, maybe we'd have more soldiers to spare if your father hadn't abducted thousands of people and forced them to die in his pointless war. Pointless? You think it was pointless to drive Azura's armies off of our shores? You think it was pointless to make them pay for burning my grandfather alive? I didn't mean... What about my little brothers? Was their sacrifice pointless too? Did I watch Baltair and Seoras die in front of my eyes for no reason? Diavalos, Diavalos clenches his fist, as if fighting to keep something inside. Then he suddenly turns, marching out of the room. I shouldn't have... I mean, I was angry about my parents. I didn't think. Whitlock, you didn't do anything wrong. It's terrible what happened to his brothers. But that doesn't change the fact that Luther did conscript people against their will. I still wish I'd spoken more carefully. Well, I'm not going to coddle the Blood King's favorite son, not after everything his family's done to us. I'll never forgive Luther for my mother's death. He's a brutal, calculating killer, and he deserves to rot in a pit for the rest of his life. You hear a thump from the other side of the wall, followed by muffled curses. But the fact is, we need this alliance. Without it, countless others will die or be enslaved. I'm going to go talk to Diavalos. Get some rest, everyone. You find Diavalos sitting in the corridor, cradling one of his hands in the other. What happened? Punched the wall. Thought it might make me feel better. Did it? Do you actually care? Maybe. You stand in silence for a long moment. Sorry, I shouldn't have... I didn't mean to say those things back there. father would beat me if he saw me acting like this.
Diavolos, you know that not everyone is happy about this alliance. The ugly truth is that your father is responsible for the deaths of our loved ones. Diavolos clenches his jaw, unable to meet your eyes. That said, I hope we could learn to understand each other better. We know that you're grieving too.
Grieving? In my family, grieving just means making everyone else as miserable as we are. I've never really talked to anyone about my brothers or...
He trails off, rubbing his injured knuckles.
Maybe something more. I think not, but we can talk to him. Are you serious? You want to have some kind of sappy heart-to-heart?
If you'd like. Diavolos considers you, his cocky smile slipping away.
Actually, yeah, I would like that.
Well, come on, we can talk in my room. You and Diavolos climb up the ladder into your small bedroom on the airship.
No fair, your bed is bigger than mine.
Perks of being in charge. Diavolos flops onto your bed, and you sit on the edge of your desk.
Kenna, what was your father like?
I barely remember him, actually. He died when I was a little girl. I remember being held. I think he was wearing armor. He was showing me his sword, and I put my hand over his on the hilt.
Is that your earliest memory? Holding a sword? Because that explains a lot about you. Doesn't it?
What about you? What's it like having Luther as a father?
Honestly, we're not so different in that regard. It feels like the man who was my father died years ago. After his father was killed by the Iron Empire, he was usually too busy running the war to spend time with me. But my mother could always make him laugh. When she died too, it changed him.
What was your mother like?
She was terrifying. Picture Zenobia, but instead of poisoning your wine, she breaks your neck with her bare hands. Once, a visiting duke talked down to her at the dinner table, so she challenged him to a duel right there in the banquet hall. Gods, did she win? He said it was unseemly to fight a woman, so she had him locked in a tiny cage until he changed his mind. Then she won.
That definitely sounds like the kind of woman Luther would marry.
After Mother died, Father disappeared completely into the war. He barely ate and didn't speak to me for months at a time.
That's terrible. You just lost your mother, and your father wouldn't even talk to you? What did you do?
I got Father's soldiers to teach me how to fight, and I studied tactics with his advisors. Father didn't seem to want a son anymore, so I made myself into a weapon instead. And it worked! I fought in my first battle at 13, and that night Father threw a feast in my honor. Soon he was training me himself.
You joined Luther's army that young? That's...
awful.
How could Luther let you fight when you were just a child?
Have you met my father? He'd let a kitten fight in his army if it could swing a sword. You know that thing Azuri's lackeys say about every life having a purpose?
I've heard it a few times, yeah.
I feel like the only reason I'm here is to help my father win this war. And I'm alright with that. As purposes go, it's pretty significant. But Baltar and Sioris, I wanted more for them. I wanted them to be the ones who made it out alive.
You don't want more for yourself? What about...
Yeah, I'm not saying love. Your future. I mean... Even if it weren't for the fact that I'm madly in love with Raiden, that just feels... really... left turn. Can't say I spend much time thinking about the future. I guess I just always assumed I would fight Azura until I died. That's a little grim. It's what my mother did, and my grandfather before her, and my great-grandfather before him. It's basically a family tradition.
He sighs, standing up.
Well, I think that's enough bearing my soul for one night. Thanks for listening.
Of course. I hope it wasn't too painful for you.
Nothing I couldn't handle.
Diavalos holds out his hand. You stand, placing your hand in his, and he bows, leaning forward to brush a kiss over your knuckles.
Until tomorrow, Your Majesty.
You look up into Diavalos' face, just bare inches from your own. I should say good night.
Until tomorrow.
Diavalos pulls open the trapdoor to the corridor below.
Good night, Kenna.
He climbs down, shutting the trapdoor behind him. You slip into bed, watching moonlit clouds skate past your window until you drift off to sleep. So, like, a part of me is torn, because I'm a completionist, and I like to see everything. So, a part of me is like, let's start over the chapter, see what the love options are like, and then restart and do it properly, because I'm not going to pursue a romance with him in my official save file. But at the same time, I would have to, like... How would I have to do it? I guess we could pause from here, and I could... Alright, I'm gonna try to do something clever, and hopefully I won't screw everything up, okay? We're gonna try it. Pause. And we're back? Okay. Man, I click to get to this point. You don't want more for yourself? What about love? Do I seem like someone who spends a lot of time thinking about love? No, but you've surprised me before. Diavalos is quiet for a long moment.
I don't think I know what love looks like. He sighs, standing up. Well, I think that's enough bearing my soul for one night. Thanks for listening.
Of course. I hope it wasn't too painful for you.
Nothing I couldn't handle.
Diavalos holds out his hand. You stand, placing your hand in his, and he bows, leaning forward to brush a kiss over your knuckles.
Until tomorrow, Your Majesty.
You look up into Diavalos' face, just bare inches from your own.
I should... And we're gonna kiss him just so I can see what happens.
You reach up to grasp Diavalos by the collar, pulling him into a kiss. You feel him smile against your lips.
Oh, so it's like that.
If you want it to be. Diavalos' arm circles your waist, his other hand twining in your hair. He holds you tight against his chest, kissing you with surprising hunger. A moment later you break apart, breathless, your faces flushed. Diavalos laughs, softly stroking your cheek.
I've been wanting to do that since the moment I first saw you.
Probably a good thing you waited.
I don't know, it would have made that dinner party a lot more interesting.
Diavalos steps back, crouching to open the trapdoor to the corridor below.
Good night, Kenna.
He climbs down, shutting the trapdoor behind him. So, okay, that's what happens if you try to kiss him. So, hold on. I'm gonna back out. And we're back again. Hopefully I haven't messed up any of the editing. So, it's been going over my head while I've been clicking through to get to this point again. Why I have such a visceral no reaction, because normally I'm all about the romance options. I mean, you know me, I write the romance books and I love romance, and it's not even like, oh, I have to stay true to Raiden, because I'm all about the whole polyamorous thing we have going on with all the characters. And it's funny to me because, like,
if this option had come up in book 1, I might even have considered it a good match for Kenna in the sense that, you know, we've just had this war. If she and Diavolos were to develop a romance, they could unite the kingdoms through a marriage, whereas right now it's going to be kind of messy whenever we win, and everyone has to go back to try to figure out, okay, is Navraki free now? Did we annex them? You know, it would be kind of a neat solution if she and Diavolos were to fix everything through marriage. But, I mean, we have just met him, and his family is a mess. Like, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, I'm not gonna lie. So, we're just gonna say good night. Good night, Kenna. Alright, here we go. The next morning, your airship passes over the mountains. You stand on the deck and look out over the smoldering wreck of the Golden City. Oh, gosh. Gods. You look over at Annalise, who clutches the railing in a white-knuckled grip, her dark eyes reflecting the cold blue flames. Are you sure you want to do this? What I want is to bury Hex alive in the deepest, darkest hole I can find. Failing that, I'll settle for quietly foiling her plans. Whitlock, dear, I can see the entrance to the mines. Can you slow down? Cutting edges. The airship slows to a gentle glide, and Annalise secures a rope ladder to the railing. Good luck. You too, darling. Annalise climbs over the railing and lowers herself down the rope ladder. A minute later, she vanishes down a barely visible crack in the mountainside. Annalise is away. I'm taking the airship down for landing. Get ready, everyone. And remember, Hex is a devious opponent. She's already been here a couple days, and she probably knows we're coming. Watch out for traps. Jackson and Diavolos draw their swords. Say cracks her knuckles, staring at the burning city. Ready to bring Dom home, Say? She nods, firmly squeezing your shoulder. Fight well, Queen of Stormhold. We cannot fail this time. Leonidas scampers onto the deck, sniffing furiously at the air. Suddenly he growls, the fur on his back bristling. I smell something. Something big. Something mad. Turning suddenly, Leonidas looks at Say. It smells kind of like you, pack leader. Hey, how come Say is pack leader? Say shrugs indifferently, but the corner of her mouth quirks into a smile as you scoop Leonidas into your arms. I think what you're smelling is our friend. He can turn into a dragon like Say. We're here to rescue him. Though we might need to fight him first. I will fight the dragon for you, Kenna. I will make him roll over in defeat. He will expose his belly to me and I will bite it. What is a dragon? Something too big for you to fight, Leonidas. Are you sure? I fought a fox one time, a big one. Quite sure. Besides, I'm counting on you to guard the ship. I can do that. I've been practicing my bark. Whitlock says it's very frightening. Sounds perfect. Whitlock guides the ship to a flat patch of stone near the ruined gate. As you and your companions cautiously exit the airship, a voice calls out from above. Well, I wasn't expecting to see all of you for at least another week. You freeze, looking up to see Hex perched atop a nearby ridge. I'll be taking that airship back, once I've dealt with you. Brave words for a dead woman. Where is he, Hex? Bring Dom to us now, and I promise to be lenient with your sentence. Hex throws her head back, her laughter echoing shrill and loud from the valley walls. Oh, he didn't tell me you were funny. Well, this is one reunion I would be more than happy to facilitate. Dom, come, my pet. Look who's here to see you. A huge, scaled claw rises over the ridge, then another, followed by an enormous head and two blazing eyes. Oh, Dom. Roar! Dom crawls over the ridge, flames dripping from his teeth. Hex reaches out to stroke his massive neck. Oh, I'm going to enjoy watching him kill you. Suddenly, Sei rushes forward, her body disappearing in a column of flame. Not as much as I will enjoy killing you, she-devil! Sei's dragon form bursts from the flames, thundering toward Hex and Dom. Rawr! No! Sei slams against Dom. They take to the sky, roaring and snapping at each other. As Hex watches, transfixed, you draw your weapon and charge forward. Come on! Jackson and Diavolos fall in behind you, yelling battle cries. Hex looks at you, her face twisted with fury. Anton, kill! Out of the corner of your eyes, you see a flash of blue. Duck! You duck, and a blue fireball sizzles over your head. Too slow, Hex. Don't worry, there's plenty more. Off to one side, Anton trudges toward you, his arms wrapped in flame. Kill. Long tendrils of fire snake out from Anton's hands, and he whips them toward you. Look out! Jackson leaps in front of you, catching the flaming whips on his shield. The metal begins to glow with heat as Anton strikes again and again. Kill! 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 Getting a little hot back here. Anyone got a plan? I do. You sheathe your sword and draw your energy pistol, switching to the stun setting. You see the weapon glowing with a warm yellow light. I can't get a clear shot while he's attacking me. Keep him focused on you, and I'll sneak around and hit him from the back. And remember, try not to hurt him. Right, because me hurting him is what's likely to happen. On my signal. Now! You dodge behind a nearby boulder. And Diavolos charges past Jackson's shield, swinging his sword high. Yeah! Anton turns, lashing out at Diavolos' head and legs. Diavolos leaps, twisting sideways in the air and spinning between the two flaming whips. Not even close. Anton hisses in frustration, turning to look for an easier target. Hey, over here, puppet man! As Anton focuses his attack on Jackson, you creep from boulder to boulder until you're staring at Anton's back. Let's hope Whitlock hasn't lost his touch. Stun! You squeeze the trigger, and a golden bolt of light explodes from the barrel, slamming into Anton's back. Ugh. Anton falls on his face, unconscious. Jackson drops his shield, cursing as he shakes out scorched fingers. That was a good shot, Your Majesty. Couldn't have done it without you two. Let me have a turn with that thing. I bet I can get Hex right between the eyes. Maybe when I'm done playing with it. Now we need to figure out where Hex went, so we can... Roar! You duck as Sei and Dom swoop low overhead, the gust from their wing beats nearly knocking you down. Whoa! Dom roars again, unleashing a column of flame at Sei. She dodges and weaves in the air, easily avoiding his attacks. I still can't believe I'm seeing this. That's really Dom up there? Is that still Dom? It has to be. We just need to help him break free. Sei banks into the sharp turn, drawing Dom toward the burning palace of Aurelia. Sei pulls up suddenly, flipping over in the air and slamming down on Dom's back, driving him into the mountainside. Stay down, Lowlander. I do not wish to hurt you more than I must. Roar! Roar! Dom roars and thrashes, but
Sei holds him fast against the rocks. She's got him. Quick, we need to find Hex. Where in all hells did she disappear to?
Kenna? Dia follows, points to the bridge across the chasm. You watch as a distant figure lifts a bulky device, aiming it at the struggling dragons below.
You're mine, fire freak.
No!
Hex pulls a lever, and a huge net explodes from the front of the device, wrapping around Sei's wings. Ah, what?
Dom thrashes again. Distracted, Sei loses her hold, and Dom smashes her against the rocks.
Ugh! Sei goes limp, tumbling down into the chasm below.
Dom moves to follow, but Hex calls out to him.
No, Pet. It won't do to kill your playmate. She's going to be very useful once I break her too. I'll take care of the other fire freak, while you kill Kenna Reese.
Dom's head turns, and he launches toward you. He opens his mouth, a white-hot inferno building inside. He's going to breathe fire at me. I'll hide behind a boulder. Diabolos was one of the options.
Take cover!
You pull your companions behind a large boulder, just as flames sear the air all around you, breaking against the boulder like a wave. Phew! Hells, thanks for the warning. Yeah, I'm starting to think I may make it through this day without getting immolated. The deluge of flame ceases, and the ground shakes as Dom lands behind you. Your Majesty, we must get you back to the airship. We're outmatched without Sei.
We're not leaving. Not now when we're so close. We split up. He can't go after all of us.
Not my favorite plan, but it's all we've got.
At your signal, Jackson and Diavolos break to either side, scrambling for cover in the rocks.
You run straight ahead, and Dom follows. Roar!
Dom rears up, painting the path ahead of you with flames. Your escape blocked completely. You turn to look up into the face of your friend. Dom, it's me, Kenna.
Hey, over here!
Jackson flings a rock at Dom's head.
He ignores it, focusing only on you. Dom stalks closer like a hunting lion.
Dom, don't you know me? Tell me you're still in there.
Kenna, that is not your friend. He's going to kill you if you don't fight.
You clutch your sword as Dom rears, his wings seeming to blot out the sky. Dom, I could never hurt you. Your sword falls from your limp hands, and you stare up into Dom's glowing eyes. Even now, even if it means my death, I will not cause you more pain. Dom lashes out with one enormous claw, swatting you like an insect. You hit the ground hard, something inside you cracking on impact. The taste of blood fills your mouth. There's nowhere left for you to run. Nothing you can do but watch as Dom looms over you, his head bending down, his jaws gaping open to tear you apart. Dom.
Wow, it's gonna end there? Really?
You flew to Aurelia. You took Whitlock's energy pistol into battle. You got Diavolos to open up about his past and his family. You refused to attack Dom, knowing you would rather bleed than harm your oldest friend. I don't know if that was the right action. The strategy guide didn't tell me one way or the other. But we got the full score, so... Okay, that was chapter 8. Wow, that was a lot and kind of tense. So, I guess when we come back to chapter 9, we'll find out whether Dom kills Kenna. Thank you so much for coming along. This has been The Crown and the Flame. My name is Anna Mardal, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!